Hi friend, this is a tech job hunt, and without any kind of fancy introduction and wasting too much time in the introduction, we are going to learn React.js hooks step by step. And in this video, we are going to learn useState hooks. And before that, we need to have some idea about the React.js and some core features of React.js. What is the advantage, disadvantage, and all these things. So we will go through this in a short period of time. So let's talk about the React.js. React.js is a front-end framework that is used for the user interface. This is a single-page application, SEO friendly, and there is a virtual DOM in the React.js, and reusable components also there. There is a Facebook support community also. So further development and updates are on the community forum. You can visit there also. uh, Disadvantage, in the disadvantage there is a no clear cut structure actually to build that React.js structure, and there's a complexity for the beginners also to just learn about the JSX. And third thing is managing state of the components. That is also some kind of hectic things in the React.js. One thing I want to point out here, the thing is SEO friendly. How the React.js is SEO friendly? Because there is a some sort of confusion uh, in the interview that how does it SEO friendly? So React.js is actually a server-side rendering. So here you can see, here I can write it, server-side rendering. So all your the components are not going to be rendered uh, in on the browser. It firstly render on the server side in which the application hosted or published. So when any user search about anything, the server directly hits because it has all these information about the page, meta information. It has about the title, it has a meta tag information and all these things. So server directly load that page or component. So you don't need to wait. Google don't need to wait for the rendering of the browser. So load time of server side rendering is very fast. So that's why it is SEO friendly. Okay. And the one concept is virtual DOM. You can learn here, and I can give an idea about the virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is like a in-memory React DOM element. So your all the components copy are stored on the React side. So it's such a memory actually. It store the state of that components document object models, or you can say the tree, the UI tree, you can say the JSX component. So anything going to be changed, then it makes the reference or map the reference that on which node the data, or on which node the node is going to change. Like let's suppose you are rendering uh, a list of elements. You are rendering the like list of API responses in which the array of responses are there. So any modification is going to be done. You are removing some kind of element in there. Then it does not re-render the whole node, like from the head to body to inner nodes, any div or something. So it does not completely restructure or re-render the whole model DOM element. It only makes the changes where there is any modification is going to be done. So you have remove any components DOM, then it only render that point of node. It does not render the whole HTML element. So I can give you an example here. Let's suppose this is your browser element and there's a head tag and there is a body tag. So in body, sorry, it's going too much upper side. So let's suppose there is a div and this is a UL. After that we will go to that on the Visual Studio Code, and here where we uh, talk about the uh, useState hook. So just I am giving you a brief idea about this virtual DOM things, because it's kind of not a tough topic but confusing for some uh, peoples. Okay, so this is a element, DOM element structure, previous structure you can say, and here this is rule 2. So here if you are removing the rule 2 li, then the normal uh, view page in another frameworks, what it's do, it re-render the HTML head and body and div and UL and all these whole structure re-renders. But virtual DOM do things like makes a tree of that whole structure like HTML, and then there is a head, and then there is a body, and in the body there is a div in the UL and li. So it makes the reference, it has a reference of all the components, and it's firstly check where the elements has been changed. So it will see that in the UL component, in the UL node, it the structure is changed, modification has been done, so it only rendered that element. It's not going to render the whole uh, DOM structure. So that's where virtual DOM uh, perform its function and make the fast rendering of the component. So now we are moving to the Visual Studio Code, where we learn about the hook, and the first hook is useState hook. So here I am giving you a brief idea on here what useState do. UseState is make a state management of the variables within the component. Okay, have you understood this? So this useState hook do the state management of the variable. So let's suppose if you have a component like test component, and there is a variable called count. So there is a variable called count, and there is a set function. Set function is actually optional. I will show you why the set count function is basically used. So I will tell you. So initially it is a 0, and I'm just writing a demo code, but yeah, I can like write whole things like, okay, so just I am writing the dummy code here. Okay, so you can import a useState from the React. In the VS Code I will show you. I'm just writing a dummy code for that. Okay, so yeah, so this is a count variable, and it is a state variable. That means the state management is going to happen in the test component. So state management is refers that if the changes are going to happen in this variable, the component is going to rendered again. Okay, so let's suppose if I am using here that variable, I don't know why it is makes the caps. Okay, so not some big thing. Yeah, okay, so it uses if count, and there is some song, so try to focus here. So here it is a count, and count is going to change, then the component is going to re-render the whole component, the function test going to re-render. I will show you with the console logs that how it is going re-renders. Okay, so this is a setter function. It is used basically to make the changes in this state variable. And if you are not going used, then you are saying that you are defining it as a state as a constant, and it's not going to change, and its change does not uh, make the re-rendering of the test components. So if you are not using the set counts, okay, so it is used, the setter function is basically make the pure component. If you so you will ask me what is a pure component. So pure component is that if x is equal to 1, then f is equal to 2, then every time if x is equal to 1, the f is equal to 2. That means the input and output should be consistent. Okay, so if x is equal to 2, then f is equal to 2 also. If x is equal to again 2, then f should not be 3. It should be 2. With same input, it should generate the same output. Okay, so that's make the pure component. Okay, so that's why we do not use hooks into the loops, because loops make the inconsistency between the state of the variables. Okay, so now we are moving to the Visual Studio Code, and where there I will show you how the re-rendering of the components happen when the use state makes the changes in the state variable. Okay. Okay, so we are on the VS Code, and here I have created a demo project named Hook Learn, and I'm giving a brief idea about this project structure. This is a text file where the React automatically generates and give you a brief idea about the installation and debugging process. Okay, and this is a package.json file in which the all the packages uh, reference uh, written here. Okay, versions of the all the uh, features dependencies. Here you can see that React 19.2.0 is installed, React Home is 19.2.0 installed, React router is there, React script is there, and package logs.json file also. It's same as a package.json file, but it tells us that if you have a two dependencies or two versions of the React, then it will show or log that one particular version on which your project is built on. So uh, if you have a two versions of React and React DOM or React router DOMs, then sometimes it creates us uh, warnings or some kind of issues when you're running the React applications, that there is an inconsistency between the version of the React. Okay, because it is referencing 19.2.0 and the application is referencing the React version 18.2.0, then this is uh, incompatibility between both. So that is a debugging thing you can figure out by testing those things. Okay, so this is a source. This is a folder where your components, your assets, your routings are going to be saved here, and where you can create a JS components. This is a node modules. It is the reference of all the nodes which you install, like Bootstrap and different kind of inbuilt React modules. All is uh, referenced in the node modules. Okay, so this is a hook learn project, and this is an index.js file in which the uh, React, so you can say that this is a React entry points in the layman language, because here the your React DOM create an element, uh, and that element render the all these JSX files into it. Okay, so this is basically a JSX component in which the root render this component, app component, and your app component is here, and in the app component I have written some uh, navbar layout, and so talk about another components. This is a routing component in which your all the routes going to stored here with path and element, and the main uh, this is a home.js component, and where we will learn the hooks. This is also named as a hook component. So here I have already written part of code, and this is a parent component that I am rendering in the hook, and here uh, the useState is used here. Okay, so if you want I can erase it, and I can write here your whole function here. Okay, no problem, I can write here. So I am creating a variable named count, as I have previously shown you. So okay, so this is a auto suggestion from the Copilot. My suggestion is for the beginners is not to use it, because you will not learn something going to be missed if you are using GitHub Copilot. Okay, it's for the professional people, those who have already learned those things, so they can use, but not in the excess amount. Okay, so here I have created a div. Okay, and in that div I am just writing the count variable, just trying to reflect the changes so that you can see that changes are going to happen. And this is a button I have created, and this button already auto suggestion analyst that on the on click of the button, the set count, this set count setter function that I have already told you makes the changes into the state variable, this count variable, and the state of the count is increased by 1 on the click of this button. So you will see the changes here, and to identify that component is rendering or not, I am writing here that console.log parent component rendered. So it will show you on the log of the browser that changes every time the button clicks and count is increased. That means the changes is getting done. The whole parent component is going to re-rendered. Okay, so here I am running this project, npm run start. So it is running and we are going to on the browser. Okay, so there is some kind of already is running. I'm deleting all those things and again trying to rerun the project. Okay, so npm run start. Okay, now it's fine. I think it should run. Okay, so now I will go to the browser side. So now we are on the browser side, and you can see here the some random text about the React, and this is a navbar that I was talking about in the project, and this is a home page. You can see here the URLs. The browsing routing is okay. So I have make these hooks routing. So this was our page. This was the page that I have made the changes, and I have used the useState hook. So this is an increment count, and this is a count variable that is rendering here, and initially it was set to the 0, and you can see in the F12 in the console log. I am just trying to minimize it. Okay, yeah, you can see it. So you can see here is a 2 times. So it is in a debug mode. You are using strict mode. So on the debug mode, it render the component twice to make sure that the component is a pure or not. The pure component, I have already told you that it should be generating the same output with same input. Okay, so the on the debugging mode, it makes sure that the component is generating the same output or not. So that's why it is in it is showing 2 times. Okay, now increment count is increased. Button clicks, the count is 1, and you can here see that the parent component is rendered. Okay, so the component is again rendered. You can see here with the logs, and if I can increase by 1, then again you will see here the parent component rendered log is showing. So on this basis, you can say that useState makes re-rendering of the component. Okay, so if in the interviewer asking you how the re-rendering is happen in the useState, you now have a clear about the idea about that thing, that how the state component is changing, how the component is getting re-rendered. Okay, so in the future we will learn all other hooks with the same clarity, with same basic examples, with some introduction, so you should have a clear cut idea about the hooks functions. Okay, so that's all. If you have found these things useful and have a clear idea, then you can subscribe our channel. Okay, bye bye.